Hello everyone, Mr. Blubberjack here today, doing a video on my own very review project that took way too long, and honestly I am constantly just asking myself, is this the right move? Is this the perfect move? Is this the wrong move? But either way, Mr. Blubberjack here today, and full name, Tori, full director and writer and animator to some extent of this large-ass project that honestly is only 11 minutes long, but I am not kidding when I tell you this. It took probably a multitude of 9 months just to make this. At first, it started off as a concept, as an idea back in August, and then I was like, okay, I'm just working on stuff, and then this just happened to be one of the videos where I was like, well, you know, if the anime in the first episode is supposed to like say, oh, 2025 is the future, it kind of almost seems perfect to make a video about it. And then as in the result of like making it, I was making a bunch of other memes, just copying memes, and like strangely enough, that would be like something that would actually be viral worthy before actually releasing this. So yeah, and also too, I guess my characters are also in this, and I think in the original cut they took a lot of significance, but it hurt the retention of the video. So, I mean, let me know if that's a problem in itself, that the video is so goddamn fast-paced. Maybe in the future I'll just tone that down, who knows. It depends on what the audience actually wants. Because yeah, I've been working on this for a long time, and there was even a point where I was just straight up not going to even release this, because I'm like, oh, this is trash. Like, if I'm posting it and I'm making it private and I can see the retention and it gives me the retention and it's trash, I'm just like, well then, what's the point of even uploading it? But, you know, I then was like, you know, I can maybe fix like a couple things and just do this and that, and you know, it was at least enough to where I was like, okay, I think that this works. I think that this is okay. And then I was thinking about like the swearing and stuff, and I was like, yeah, maybe I should just censor it just in case, like, you know, if I ever do end up getting monetized, I don't want to like have any chance of this video getting demonetized. Like, that was the first hurdle. Like, I think it was first with the Made in Abyss series. Like, I think that series is absolutely just crushed, and I think about this stuff all the time. Like, that review series is kind of crushed. Like, the first two, you know, videos of that series were okay, but then you get to the third one and it's like only viewable on my TikTok, and the fourth one is just, it's jacked up, you know. And I think about if I will return to re-edit that entire thing, because I technically still can, you know. And so with this Dokudo-chan video, this is the first time that I'm making a review of an anime, you know, that I've watched as a kid and stuff like that, and I thought it was pretty cool, and it still has some significance, and I think there is a minor fan base, no pun intended, you know, a sort of small fan base that's actually kind of into it. Some people don't even know this exists, and some people just straight up haven't watched it, which is kind of interesting to me. But either way, you know, I'm trying to be like my best self in this video and stuff, and then like my characters kind of being added to it is something that happened, I think, from the first get-go of me recording this, because I'm like, it's not really that entertaining if it's just me talking about this. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have my characters in this, and then, you know, I'm like thinking, like, should I have it to where they have their younger bodies or whatever, or should they have their more adult bodies ish? And the only reason why they are more taller, like Madison and Maurice, specifically them, is because I was designing them for, I guess, a panty and stocking kind of video idea, but that kind of never went anywhere. And then I was like, well, I do like drawing these designs, and I think these are pretty cool. They look pretty updated for the most part, so I just ended up using them. So, if anything, I would have actually used the, dare I say Lolita? No, the lolly kind of designs, nah. Well, Madison has more of a smallish little, you know, little girl design, and then Maurice, his design is like, it goes from everywhere. It goes from just either, you know, he's a kid to full-on adult, like, constantly, and he's the one that mostly changes in hairstyle. And if you go through my channel, you'll probably see a good portion of those hairstyles. But I mean, even then, Ron 2, I kind of just kept him the same, because he kind of embodies just my purest kind of perfection of a hero or a kid hero, if that makes any sense. Like that's why he has a more Sonic the design. But yeah, and I was definitely going to have a thing where it's just like they're explaining themselves and maybe we're bickering and stuff like that over moral stuff, but for the most part my characters kind of just service the video and we just get a move on. Like this is the smallest part where my characters are kind of almost tangenting. Like it's just basically Maurice just saying, yeah, just give me a design just like that. But yeah, and then there's just so much that got cut because like I'm just like, okay, like this is why the video is kind of slow and makes me want to click off, is specifically because there's these moments where my characters are just bickering too much. But yeah, again, this project just, it took a long time to make, and this is one of those first times where I'm like really just going balls to the wall. Like, a lot of the like smaller animations are just basically based off of memes, so even upon them getting impressions where it's like people see them, they're like, okay, that's an easy concept that I understand. But this, no, this is like trucking in the YouTube analytics. Like it still has kind of like good watch time, but it's also a thing where people kind of almost have no clue what this is, and they're very hesitant to click on it. They're like, what the freak is this? Like, I'm not clicking on this. And so, like, it's definitely a thing where I'm combining everything that I've learned so far, and especially with my animation skills, because a lot of what I did in the past was, like, sectioned, Like, on Mondays, I would produce a video that's just basically my avatar talking, my blue self. And then Tuesdays would be the Unmarveled series, where I'm talking about a character in depth. And then a Wednesday was about drawing, just drawing something, anything. And then Thursday was the Melancholy Star series, whatever the frick that is. Sometimes it's an animation, but sometimes it's just, I don't know, just kind of like at least something that's colorful, at least, to some extent. And then Fruits of Labor, that was like supposed to be my own adventure series. But now I'm trying to do this thing where everything is combined into one video. And also, too, I'm backing it on with the power of just anime and God by my side. Maybe without God on my side in this one. Because this review is really pushing it. Like, the lolly content, like, yeah, like, I think, where does that obsession kind of come from at this point? I think it's just simply because I'm getting older. And my characters, even despite the fact that they're getting older too, like, I think I created Rontu back in 2006, so he's technically like 18 if we think about it. And then Madison and Maurice, they're technically like 16 in a sense, because they were created back in 2008. But when it comes down to it, like, when I'm like drawing my characters, I'm drawing like the most idealized kind of senses of being, like, that I'm thinking in my head. And when it comes down to it, like kid avatars, they're always kind of seen as like, the linchpin of like, okay, this is our beginning hero. Like, gone are the days where we have muscular, like, overjacked heroes. Like, I'm actually kind of more into them now as a byproduct of me getting older. Like, you'll probably see more characters like that are actually just fair built and stuff. But even back in the past, like, characters like Spider-Man and a bunch of other heroes, they would just progressively get skinnier and younger, and I can't help but think that that's because we all kind of glorify the idealization of just being young or something like that. Like, a child prodigy, if anything. Yeah, and I mean, like, it even goes on the tangent of, like, God in a sense, like, the immorality of lolly art. And I mean, like, I have my hot takes and stuff like that, but it is a question I think I'd want to propose to even my audience. It's like, where's that gray line? Like, what is considered erotic art? And then, of course, you have just blank, straight up, like, shad-based stuff where, he's actually genuinely sexualizing, the miters and stuff, the Logan movie in particular. And then it's like, that's where it kind of crosses the line, because you're obviously doing something where it's actually affecting somebody else. And even the company was like, hey, we're going to take, extreme action against this and stuff. And that's like, and I'm obviously like, not promoting that I'm like a good person in the sense of a YouTuber. Like, I'm capable of all the other types of evils that anybody is, especially even Shad Base. But I think the most important thing is just, dare I say, having class? No, I think that, like, as long as I'm doing my best to, like, kind of like not try to get in the way or not trying to actively direct my art towards somebody and actively, like, hurt them, then I'm pretty sure I'm fine of drawing whatever I want. Like, an artist in that sense, where I'm like, okay, I can draw whatever I want. But of course, like, you know, it's just the same thing as like if you were going to say whatever, or no, not say whatever, but say for instance, if you got a knife, like you wouldn't, obviously, you shouldn't use it against like somebody who's like an innocent person. And then I think in that situation, if you have a knife and you're gonna stab somebody who honestly isn't really deserving of it, then you shouldn't do it. And I think that applies with art. So if you do anything, do it for the artistic intent, but try your best not to like actively like just, you know, ruin somebody or try to like jack them up, especially in the sense of drawing actual, like, dare I say, minors, you know, who's actually an actual person. Like even with the lolly thing, I think I heard somebody in the comments on one of my other videos say like, oh, it's kind of just meant as characters that look young but aren't actually young. It goes all over the place. I'm not here to defend anything. I mean, I just am what I am. Like, and I've said this before, like, if like if any person even watching this video like hates me for the kind of art that I create and stuff like that, then I mean, you would have to decide for yourself whether I'm friend or foe. Have I draw like jacked up stuff in the past? Of course I have. I think everybody has. But for the most part, you know, I'm always trying to just put my best foot forward and create inspiring pieces of art. And if my art is not inspiring, then I guess, yeah, that's where I lose in the end. But either way, have a good time, everyone. This is my commentary. Hope you liked it. Continue watching my videos, I guess. Or not. It depends on you. Have fun. And it's still going, because I'm going to go to the last minute. Yeah. Tooned-chan, everybody. Yeah.